Did you know that setting boundaries can make you happier, healthier, and more successful? Well, it's true. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how. Hi, I'm Justina. I'm an occupational psychologist and personal coach. And I'm on a mission to help others to have more fulfilling and happier relationships and improve their self-worth and self-esteem by creating and maintaining healthy boundaries. Today's video is about how to transform your relationships by setting healthy boundaries. Do you struggle with saying no or feeling guilty when you're saying no to opportunity? Or do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by others? If so, stay tuned because you might need to learn how to set your own boundaries. But before we dive into the video, let's start with the basics. What the boundaries are, how to set them, and how they actually work. Let's start with my own story. A moment when I realized that me setting boundaries is actually crucial for my survival and my mental health. Last year was intense for me, and I spent a lot of that year traveling and spending time with friends or people that I consider my friends because I really valued them and I really wanted to have those interpersonal relationships. So I was traveling for everyone's birthday, celebrating their birthdays to show them really how special they are and how important they are to me. But my last straw, when I realized that this is not really worth it and I'm really losing myself and where are my boundaries, when I flew to my friend's birthday and something happened there. So my friend was planning birthday, and because they are living in another country, I decided to celebrate that day with them. I took some time off, I bought tickets, and I flew 1,000 kilometers to another country, bought that person a gift that was so amazing according to me that I really wish I received it myself. But I decided to give it to them to show them how special they are to me and how much I really value them, that they are in my life. So I flew there, I spent with that friend a couple of days, and then we threw them a birthday party. And at the end of that party, that friend told another friend that they are so grateful that they are there with them. And bear in mind that I was the only one from that party actually flying 1,000 kilometers to that party and actually seeing that person and spending that special day with them. And the person that they were referring to was traveling maybe max 2 hours by train. And it seemed like they were more grateful towards that person that they were able to attend than to me. So I left that party feeling overused, feeling like I sacrificed more than I received in return, even though I didn't have a high expectations towards that I needed to gain something from the party. But of course, appreciation was much deserved. And a couple of months later, I had my own birthday, and my birthday party was not that great because people who I was traveling to and making sure that their birthday are so special and they have all the people they want to celebrate with, they were not really available for my party, or they were just forgetting about my party. And in that moment, I realized that that year I was sacrificing myself for other people, and at the end of the day, I was unhappy with how things were turning out because I was expecting them to do the same for me, and I didn't get that in return. So of course it was my expectations, but at the same time I realized that I'm just putting too much effort comparing to how much reward I'm receiving. And in that moment, I decided to put some strong boundaries. And for example, in comparison to this year's birthday, I only prioritized really good friends' birthday and my own. And to be honest, this year's birthdays were the best birthdays I have ever attended because I really focused on the people that value me and respect me, and I respect and value them back. And I was giving as much as I was receiving, and there was not really hard feelings or unclear communication because at the end of the day, we had this mutual respect and that mutual trust. So in this case, self-prioritization or self-care is really crucial, and also setting boundaries to understand where enough is enough and when I want to and I can do more and when I should be doing more, but not destroying yourself and not putting other people first and compromising your own mental health or your own values. Setting boundaries is really building like a fence where you can protect yourself from pests and weed and all the unwanted things, and make sure that the things that are beautiful and they are in alignment with yourself and your values and priorities are kept safely in your garden. And this is what makes your garden you beautiful. And who doesn't want to have a gorgeous garden? Boundaries are the limits that you set for yourself and others, defining what is acceptable and what is not in relationships. And boundaries can help you protect your physical, mental, sexual, financial well-being and respect others' well-being as well. And boundaries can really help you communicate your preferences, expectations, and your needs in a very clear and respectful way. So let's start with the different types of boundaries that you can set in your relationships. There are the physical boundaries. These are the boundaries that relate to your body, personal space, and your body touch. So for example, if somebody is coming too close to you, you might feel uncomfortable and you might feel like you need to take a step back. It depends on some people. If this is a stranger, the distance allowed for you to feel comfortable, it's going to be different than the distance you're allowing your family, for example, get closer, or your partner. It might also involve you not liking being hugged by strangers or kissed on the cheek, prefer a handshake, or that you need some time alone every single day. Then there is emotional boundaries. These are the boundaries that relate to your thoughts, opinions, and feelings. For example, you might not really feel confident with sharing personal things with your coworkers or with strangers, or you might not feel comfortable with opening up about certain heavy topics to other people's, just specific people, or you don't tolerate name calling, insultive jokes, or bullying. Then we have financial boundaries. These are the boundaries that relate to your money, asset, and expenses. So for example, you might not feel comfortable with other people paying for your bill because you prefer to split, or you don't feel comfortable lending your money to friends or family, or it might be just a simple thing that you don't tolerate spending certain amount for shoes or hanging out outside because you have different preferences. You are okay with spending £100 on food, but you don't feel comfortable with spending that much money on alcohol or, for example, for a t-shirt. Then we have intellectual boundaries. These boundaries are related to your values, ideas, and beliefs. For example, you might have a boundary that you don't want to talk about politics with your friends or family because you believe that it might be a sensitive topic, or your boundary is to not engage with someone that has a different opinion or different value or different religion. But your also boundary is to feel valued and respected by others if you have a different opinion or different priority. Then we have some time boundaries, and the time boundaries are related to your availability, scheduling, and commitments. So for example, you might not feel comfortable with working on a weekend or picking up the phone from your boss after working hours, or you need to have at least 24 hours notice before making plans with someone. You prefer not to be surprised and you would like to be prepared. And lastly, they are expectation boundaries, and these are related to your goals, standards, and roles in your relationship. For example, you might have a boundary that you expect honesty and loyalty from your partner, or you don't do chores for your adult children, or you don't want to behave like your mom when you're in a relationship. You prefer to be treated like a partner or equal. Now that you know what boundaries are and what types of boundaries you can set, how do you actually set them? Here are some tips how to set healthy boundaries in your relationships. First, you need to know your values and needs. This is a time for self-reflection. Make a list of things that makes you feel comfortable and uncomfortable. Write down each specific thing. What makes you feel comfortable, happy, respected? And on the other side, what makes you feel unhappy, disrespected, uncomfortable? Think about relationships that exist in your life already. When are you feeling the most loved? What type of relationships are those? And then compare those relationships to the relationships that you feel that there is something missing, that there is always some kind of problem in communication, that you feel used or people disregard your feelings, or you feel guilty when you need to put yourself first, or perhaps you're constantly pushed to do things that you don't want to do. Knowing your needs will help you to identify what boundaries you need to set and why. Next step is to communicate those boundaries clearly. So the thing with boundaries is that there is no universal boundaries. Different boundaries comes from different backgrounds. It can be cultural thing, it can be raising up thing, it can be educational thing. So remember that just because you feel that this is normal, this is natural, this is how it's supposed to be, doesn't mean that other people think the same way. That's why you need to communicate clearly what do you feel comfortable with and what is not tolerated by you. And remember, if there are some things unsaid, then you're leaving a lot of space for interpretation. So if you didn't really give a clear sign to someone that this is something what you don't like, they first of all will not going to know that. Second of all, they will cross that boundary again because you didn't give them a warning or the communication that this is something what you don't like. And third of all, they see that you're not really standing up for it, so they might not treat it seriously enough. If you want everyone to be on the same page, communicate what your boundaries are. For that, use assertive and respectful language like I need, I prefer, I don't appreciate, I like, I don't like. You can also explain your reasons behind it, but don't feel like you need to justify yourself. And it could look like that. I need some space today because I need some time to relax and recharge. Clear and respectful communication prevents you feeling guilty that you're saying no to something. But by this communication, you're actually showing that you respect yourself and you're letting other people know that you're not really saying no because no is no. But there is a reason behind it why you're choosing to choose yourself rather than others. And also ask other people about their boundaries and listen to them with empathy and understanding. And respect them as well. Don't expect that other people will respect your boundaries when you're not respecting theirs. Once you communicate your boundaries, unfortunately, sooner or later you will need to start protecting them. One thing is communicating and telling other people your boundaries, but you really need to stand up for your boundaries and protect those boundaries. So it will involve a lot of enforcing your boundaries consistently. Remember, boundaries are not requests. You're not asking someone to do something for you or say, I'm sorry, could you do this way? Boundaries are limits of your tolerance or things you respect. So don't let others cross your boundaries. If someone doesn't respect your boundaries after you told them, you need to show them the boundaries. First, remind them about the boundaries. Tell them about the consequences. So for instance, if your manager keeps calling you after working hours, even after you told them that you prefer to talk during the working hours, next time when they call you after working hours, don't pick up the phone. And on the next working day, let them know that if they are going to try to reach you after working hours, you will get back to them on the next working day. It's not only that you're going to communicate your boundaries, you need to show them because you can't really change other people's behavior. And if they don't respect your boundaries, that's on them. But that's why you need to learn how to protect your own boundaries. Hence, telling other people about consequences. You can say, for example, when refusing to do something, you can say, no, I cannot work on this project as I already have other commitments, or I'm not available this weekend as I told you before. So reinforcing your boundaries, but also clearly communicating that you're standing behind your boundaries 100% is really crucial for other people to see that your boundaries are serious. And in extreme situations, when somebody is clearly not respecting your boundaries and they are pushing constantly your boundaries, remember that you can remove yourself from the situation. For example, your friend wants you to go somewhere, but you repeatedly tell them that you don't want to go because you have other plans. You can remove yourself from this situation because they didn't understand your previous communication. You could stop replying or just clearly leave the room or leave the house. Don't feel like you need to be trapped in this conversation when one person stopped respecting you. You can respect yourself and leave. And lastly, remember to respect respect other people's boundaries. As I mentioned before, don't expect others to respect your boundaries when you're not respecting theirs. Don't cross other people's boundaries and don't push other people's boundaries. Acknowledge and appreciate their boundaries by saying, for example, I respect your decision of not drinking any alcohol. I won't offer you this anymore. But you can also support other people with setting and maintaining their boundaries by saying, I'm so proud of you that you stand up for yourself and you said no to that toxic person. Setting healthy boundaries has plenty of benefits. Boundaries can help you not only improve your self-esteem, self-respect, and self-worth, but also reduce stress and anxiety because finally you're saying yes to yourself and the things that you really feel comfortable with saying yes to. It can increase your satisfaction and happiness because you're living in alignment with yourself and not being pushed by others to make plans that you're totally not interested in. But it also enhances your communication and closeness with other people. Finally, you're honest and open about what you like and what you don't like. So there is no room for guessing and misinterpretation, which later on prevents conflict and resentment. Further, it fosters mutual respect and trust, which later on creates a balance and harmony in all your relationships. There is no surprises, there is just respect, trust, and loving atmosphere. However, setting boundaries is not always easy. It can be challenging to identify, set, and enforce your boundaries over and over again, especially if this is something new to you. When we were children, we were encouraged to always say yes to other people or listen to adults or be helpful, so we were taught to say yes all the time. And later on, as adults, we kind of need to learn how to say no because we want to say yes to ourselves more. And setting boundaries and maintaining them, it can also be difficult because of others people's reactions towards your boundaries, such as anger, guilt, or rejection. But remember, if somebody rejected you because you showed them finally boundaries, that means that that person was benefiting from you not having boundaries the most. And if they can't respect your boundaries and acknowledge that this is something that you don't like, and if they don't understand that this is related to your self-respect and they prefer to reject you and not respect whatever you're saying, that means that those people should not be in your life anyway. Why do you need fake friends or people that pretend that they care about you when they just want to use you? So setting boundaries can be challenging. That's why it's important to practice self-care and self-compassion. And you can also seek support with your friends, family, or watch more of my videos where I'm talking about more challenges on the way to set and maintain boundaries and how to stand up for yourself, how to develop self-respect and self-worth. Remember, setting boundaries is not rude or selfish. It's a way of taking care of yourself. It's a way of showing yourself and others that you deserve respect and to communicate how you want to be treated. And if you need more help with setting and maintaining boundaries, please feel free to reach out to me and I will answer all your questions. So, what are the boundaries that you would like to set and maintain in your relationships? Let me know in the comments down below. Now that you know how to set healthy boundaries and where to start, I challenge you to try it for yourself. Pick one area of your life where you feel like you could use some improvement and you need to set some boundaries and follow the steps that I shared with you in this video. Then let me know in the comments down below how it went. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button for more videos like that. In my next video, I'm going to be sharing more details on how to keep maintaining your boundaries and deal with challenges when enforcing your boundaries. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next video.